Antony Loewenstein, independent journalist and author.
I twice chatted to Antony Loewenstein about his upcoming book, which tackles the war on drugs, as well as the growing anti-prohibition trend and the uses that may bring.
Drugs remain illegal globally, mostly, and prohibition is the law of the land. This almost guarantees violence and civilians are suffering. That's part of the book. The other part of the book is looking at how there is a growing movement in the UK, US, Australia, other countries to move away from that strong prohibition aspect and look at areas of legalisation, decriminalisation. I spent some time last week with a major group outside Oxford here in the UK who are pushing for and are doing scientific research into the use of psychedelic drugs to treat depression. Potentially in 5 years or 10 years, you would go to a doctor and you have a depression issue. You might not be given antidepressants, you may be given a controlled dose of LSD, which might sound a bit crazy, but the evidence actually shows that it could work. So the book is almost, one side of it a pretty grim reality of the drug war, the other side a bit of hope that things could be different. My idea of coming up here also was to work with and spend time with communities that are suffering. I mean, I spent time today with 3 people who, was 2 women who have been drug addicts and one whose child has been drug addicted, and their situations are grim. I mean, there's not much support from the government, not a lot of rehabilitation available, stigmatised in the wider community and often in their own community. And listen, I'm not claiming to be an expert about addiction, but I do think that we need to understand why people take drugs, how they take drugs, and whether the way that law enforcement deals with drugs right now actually is the right way, and I'd say that it's not. And I do think the likely first step though in the UK is cannabis. To legalise it or at least make it available for medicinal purposes. I mean, the UK's laws on this are insane and incredibly restrictive, where a lot of viewers will be aware that there's cases of kids who are sick and their parents can't get marijuana to help their children. It's mad. And that needs to change. My view is there should be a legalised, regulated tax system of drugs that acknowledges that people will take drugs. There will be drug abuse, there will be drug problems, but you put that money into assisting people who do have problems with drugs, whatever reason may be. I do think there are various things that could happen in the UK. There could be safe injecting centres, which I think doesn't happen very much. People can shoot up heroin safely and securely. And by doing those sort of facilities, actually, wherever these centres exist around the world, including in my country, Sydney, it literally stops people dying, full stop.